Welcome everybody to another one of James's videos. Today we are going to work with Trigonometry grade 11, solving for 2D triangles using your sine, cosine and area rules. So this video we're going to deal mostly with the sine rule. So we're just going to introduce it to you guys. So what we need to understand about the sine rule is that there are specific scenarios with these rules that we have to look for, because obviously there's going to be a scenario where we get given a whole bunch of triangles. And then we need to see what information we have in order to know what rule to use. Now, when I say specific on scenario, I mean that when you're dealing with the sine rule, you have to have three knowns. Okay, three known pieces of information in your triangle and one unknown. Okay, very important. Out of those three known, we must have something called an ordered pair. Okay, so this over here is an ordered pair. Now what I mean by ordered pair is you have to have a side and an angle opposite that side. Okay, you have to have that as part of your knowns. Now the reason for that is because these are our sine rules. Now obviously you can have it written with the side on top and then the angle at the bottom, or you can have it with the angle at the top and the sine at the bottom. Now, how do you choose which one to use? All depends on what you're trying to work out. So if you're trying to work out a side, I would advise starting with the side on top and then the angle at the bottom. Okay. And if you are working out an angle, I would then advise you to use the angle at the top and the side at the bottom. The reason for that is just because it makes it easier, or it makes it easier for you to simplify it when it comes to the fraction stage. Okay, awesome. Okay, so when I say known over known, so say for example, we are trying to figure out, let's say side A. It means that we have to have angle A. We also have to have another ordered pair. So either you can have sine B and the side of B. Okay, if we have those, we then have something that we can use. We have three knowns and one unknown. And remember, I said to you that we do need a ordered pair, which is what we have there. Okay, let's put this theorem or this rule into practice with some examples. Okay, so looking at number one, let's see what we have. I've got an angle, which is known. I've got a side opposite that angle, which is known, which means I have an ordered pair. And then I've got the side that is opposite the angle that I'm trying to figure out. Okay, so from here, I know that sine rule's in play because I'm satisfying my three knowns and one unknown. So I can go ahead. We're working out an angle, guys. So we're going to use the rule of when the angle is on the top. Okay. Write it out just so that you obviously helps yourself learn it. You do get these in the exam, guys, on a formula sheet. But like I say to you all, if you need a formula sheet, you haven't practiced enough. Okay. We don't have to use all three of the fractions as well, guys. We only have to use two of them. Okay. So let's say, for example, if we had to change the formula into a form that we are familiar with, it's going to be sine P over P, sine Q over Q, and sine R over R. Now remember, the way you label your sides, this is small q, this is small r, and this is small p. Okay, so once we have that, we can then go ahead and take two of the fractions that we're going to use. In this case, we are going to be using P because that's got our unknown in it, and we're going to be using Q because we have the most information with Q's. We don't have R's information, so that fraction's not going to help us. So we're going to say sine of P, which is what we want to work out, P, over 5, which is the side of P, equals sine of Q, which is sine of 48 degrees, all over Q, which is 4. And now it's as simple as making P the subject of the formula. So sine of P equals, what do I need to do to this? I need to times this side by 5 times this side by 5. So what's that going to give me? 5 sine 48 all over 4. Let's see what that gives me. Sine of P is going to equal, so in your calculator, 5 sine 48 over 4. That gives me 0.92 reoccurring. A lot of people are like, well, James, that's not an angle. That's a very small angle. Guys, we haven't solved for the angle yet. How do I get the angle by itself? You have to shift sign, don't you? Okay? And then that's what's going to give us our angle. So don't clear your calculator. Shift sign of A and S in your calculator, and you get 68.27 degrees. And that is what your p-value is for the first question. Okay, awesome. Let's try it again, but with the second example. So the second example, again, we're using the formula, or let's find out whether the sine rule's in play. I've got an angle. I've got the side opposite that angle. Therefore, I have an ordered pair. I then have the side 4, and I'm trying to solve for angle P. Fantastic. So I have everything that I need in order to do this. So let's go again. Sine, I'm working out an angle, guys. So we're going to say sine of P. We're going to start with the angle at the top over P equals sine of Q over Q, which equals sine of R over R. Okay, let's put in. Which ones are we going to use here? The ones that we have the information for is the P's and the Q's. So we're going to use those two fractions. So we're going to say sine of P over 4 equals sine of Q, which is 48 degrees, over Q, small q. Remember, this is small q, this is small p, this is small r, and that's over 5. Okay, then we're going to solve for p. So sine of p, what are we going to do here, guys? Times this side by 4 times this side by 4 in order to get the sine p by itself. So that's going to be 4 sine of 48 degrees over 5. Therefore, sine of p equals 4 sine of 48 over 5. And that's giving me 0.59 reoccurring. And remember, we still have to shift sign, hey, to get the angle of P. So it's going to be sine to the minus 1 of 0.59. Remember not to clear your calculator, and you would go shift sign of answer equals. Therefore, P is going to equal 36.48 degrees. Fantastic. And that is how you do the sine rule with working out the angle. We'll do another example now of the cos rule, just to see how we can get the cos rule going. And then we'll do the area rule, and then we'll practice some harder examples. So stay in tune, watch the rest of the videos. If you like what you see, please click the subscribe button. And then also all these notes are available in the James book, which is for sale. So if you are keen, please drop us a comment in the comment section, or just go to the website and get in contact with us. Awesome. Thanks, guys.